All right, shalom, shalom. This is the brother Shakar here with another lesson to the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Rakak Kadash, and double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of the great millstone from which I learned this truth. Peace and blessings to the house of David, doing his work with all righteousness, truth, and sincerity. And I want to say shalom to the whole full elect. Shalom. All right, I'm going to start off here in the book of Hebrews, chapter 4 and verse 2. And it says, "See, for unto us was the gospel preached, as well as unto them. But the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it." You see, just like this gospel, is going out, okay, and everybody's heard it, okay? Well, let me get that real quick. That's the book of Romans. I'm going to go right to the point. Romans chapter 10, and I'll start off in verse 16. It says, "But they have not all obeyed the gospel." It says, "For Isaiah saith, Lord, who hath believed our report?" It says, "So then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing, by the word of the Most High." So they've heard it, okay, but they didn't receive the faith, okay, when they heard this word, okay, meaning those that don't believe, okay, they don't have the faith, okay, in order to believe. It wasn't given to them. It says, "But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily, their sound went into all the earth, and their words, unto the ends of the world." So nobody's going to have an excuse to say, okay, they haven't heard this word, okay? But when they heard it, just like we heard the word, okay, it wasn't mixed with faith, so they could believe. See, and that's the position that the majority of our people are in. You see, right now, 2/3 right here in so-called America, okay, they're hearing this word, okay, but they don't have the faith to believe, because ultimately it wasn't given to them. So that's why they mock, they scoff, okay, they make their videos, okay, they're unbelievers. And no matter what you say to them, no matter what scriptures you bring out, okay, their conscience has been seared, okay, with the hot iron, man. They're not gonna change their position because they can't. See, it wasn't given to them. So let me go back. I'm gonna read Hebrews 4 and 2 one more time. Hebrews 4 verse 2. I'll read it again. It says, "For unto us, was the gospel preached." See, we heard it, okay, through our apostles, our elders, okay, those that are, on the highways and byways, those that are on various platforms, okay, bringing out this knowledge, this wisdom. We heard it, as well as unto them. So they heard it too. It says, "But the word preached did not profit them." See, it doesn't profit them. You see, they're not receiving the knowledge, the wisdom. They're staying in the same position that they're in. Okay, whether it be Christianity, Catholicism, or whatever other madness, okay, that they believe. You see, this word is not profiting them. That's why they're still in that position of being lost. It says not being. Well, let me read that again. It says, "But the word preached did not profit them, not being mixed with faith in them that heard it," because they weren't given the faith. Okay, ultimately, okay, faith, it's a gift. Okay, and that's got to come from the Lord. If the Lord doesn't give you the faith in order to believe, you're not going to believe. Let me go to Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, "And you hath He quickened, who were dead in trespasses and sins." We were dead, okay, from the neck up. Okay, we didn't have an understanding. Okay, we didn't know. See, but it says, "And you hath He quickened," meaning, okay, He made us alive. Okay, He gave us the faith in order to believe, okay, the 100% truth. But again, so many of our people, they stay in that same position of being, okay, amongst the dead. Let me get another precept real quick. What is that? Proverbs chapter 21 and and verse 16. And it says, see, the man that wandered out of the way of understanding, see, shall remain in the congregation of the dead. You see, they don't have the understanding because it wasn't given, because they were not given the faith, okay, to understand. So they're going to stay amongst, okay, those that are dead, okay, from the neck up, okay, those that are still in that Gentile state of mind. You see, because what did the Lord say? It said, let the dead, okay, bury the dead. Okay, how can a dead person, okay, bury somebody else? Can't, man, meaning that they're dead from the neck up. Let me get that. That's the book of Luke, chapter 9, and let me see. I'll start on verse 59. And he said unto another, follow me. But he said, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father. Yahushua said unto him, let the dead bury the dead. See, how if somebody's dead, how can they bury somebody else that died? They can't. Meaning that they don't have the wisdom. Okay, they don't have the knowledge, the understanding. They're still in that Gentile mindset. You see, they're still thinking like the world thinks. It says, but go thou and preach, see, the kingdom of the Most High. See, and okay, without this preaching, okay, how can they hear without a preacher? Well, we were just there, but let me go back. Let me get that. That's in Romans. And I'm actually going to start, I'm going to start in verse 13. It says, for whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Now, who's that whosoever? Is that anybody? No, it's speaking about Israel. Let me get another quick precept. That's the book of Joel 2 and let me see. Yeah, I'll start off with verse 27. It says, and ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yoshai, your power. See, and none else. The Lord isn't speaking to any other nation, okay, when it comes to salvation, okay, or to truly having faith, okay, in this word, man. This word is only for Jacob. It says he has not dealt so with any other nation. It says, and my people, see, shall never be ashamed. Speaking about the Israelites, let me jump down to verse 32. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yoshai, shall be delivered. Again, who is this whosoever? It says, for in Mount Zion, see, and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance. See, and Jerusalem is a people, okay, before it's a place. Okay, so those that the Lord has given the faith to believe, okay, they're going to call upon the name. You see, ultimately, they're going to do the things that are correct. They're going to walk a certain way, and be part of the hopeful elect, Lord willing, ultimately to be of the elect. And then what? Receive deliverance. It says, as the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yoshai has said, see, and in the remnant whom the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yoshai shall call. You see? So there's going to be a few, okay, a remnant, a remainder, okay, that's going to truly understand, truly believe, okay, and truly have faith. Okay, but the rest, they just what? They're dead, man. They're dead from the neck up. Let me get another precept. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 3 and verse 4. It says, O Lord Almighty, thou power of Israel, hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites. You see, hey, when you're dead, you can't pray anymore. No, this is speaking about those, okay, that were in that Gentile mindset, just like we were. Okay, we were all amongst those that were, part of the walking dead, man. We didn't know, we didn't understand. You see, but through the Lord's mercy, he quickened us. Okay, he gave us the faith to believe. See, and their children, which have sinned before thee, and have not hearkened unto the voice of thee, their power, for which cause these plagues cleave unto us. Okay, meaning the curses. Okay, the atrocities. Okay, all the calamities. Okay, that we've been through. Let me jump down to verse 10. It says, how happened it in Israel that thou art in thy enemy's land? See right here in so-called America. It says, or wherever we've been scattered to. Okay, we've been scattered to the four corners of the earth. All these nations are enemies. Okay, you go to Psalm the 83rd chapter, it gives you a list of the enemies, not only just a list of enemies to Yahweh Bashem Yoshai, but a list of enemies, okay, to the Israelites, to Israel, to you so-called Negroes, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans, okay, chiefly. Okay, we know that Israel gonna come looking like anybody and everybody, okay, but chiefly, it says, again, how happened it Israel, that thou art in thy enemy's land, that thou art waxing old in a strange country. Okay, chiefly speaking about right here in so-called America, that thou art defiled, see, with the dead. You see, those that don't have the wisdom and knowledge, those that are not gonna make it, man. Okay, these other nations that were mingled amongst, okay, they're not gonna come out of that dead state of mind. They can't, because it's not for them. It says that thou art counted, see, with them that go down into the grave. He said that these nations, they have no hope. What does it tell you? And well, let me get it real quick. Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 23. It says, truly in vain, see, is salvation hoped for from the hills and from the multitude of mountains. See, hills and mountains represent your smaller governments and your larger governments. So your smaller nations and your larger nations. It says, truly in the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, our power is the salvation of Israel. You see, all these people, they hope for salvation in vain. Okay, it's not for them. You see. But let me go back to Ephesians. So this is the Ephesians 2 and 1 again. It says, and you had He quickened, see, who were dead in trespasses and sins. See, He's given us the mindset. Okay, He's made us alive. Okay, with Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, man. You see, it says, wherein in time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh, see, in the children of disobedience. See, right now, that's 2/3 of our people. But ultimately, okay, that's for these other nations, man. Okay, beginning, okay, with the Edomites. That they are the vessels of wrath, okay, fitted for destruction. You know, even my sword, okay, gives me a precept to that. That's what is that? Yeah, that's the book of Ephesians, okay, chapter 6, verse 12. Let's go there real quick. Ephesians 6 and verse 12. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, see, but against principalities, which goes into what? Demons, okay, spirits, see, against powers, against the rulers, see, of the darkness of this world. You see, those that are in the rulership, man. Okay, who's in the power seat position? Okay, the Edomites. So against spiritual wickedness, see, in high places. Let me also read that I'm going to read it in the NLT as well. Ephesians 6. And I might as well get that word for principalities. It says, for we are not fighting, see, against flesh and blood enemies, but against evil rulers, see, and authorities of the unseen world, see, the spirits. It says, against mighty powers, see, in this dark world, see, and against evil spirits, see, in the heavenly places. Let me get that word for principalities. Let me see if I play it. Let me get the volume up so I can play it.
Strong's G 746. Arche. Arche.
Okay. The definition is see, angels and demons. But really, I mean, that's the you see, that's the demons, okay, that are upon these people, man, upon the spirits, okay, the spirits of disobedience, okay, those that have that spirit that's in them that's not right, man, okay, that's beginning with the Edomites, Because it's going to tell you, listen, to be the first to do anything or begin, to be chief, leader, ruler. You see, and who's ruling right now? It's the Edomites, man. They have the blessing right now. They're in their blessing. You see? You see, so ultimately, okay, these nations, okay, beginning with Esau, okay, they are the spirits of disobedience. But right now, again, our people, they're just in that same spirit, man. Why? Because they follow the ways of the world. Again, it says, wherein in the time past he walked according to the course of this world. See, according to the prince of the power of the air. See, going into what? The spiritual demon Satan. See, and through his children, okay, which are the Edomites, okay, they've corrupted everything, man. These nations are corrupt. Okay, all these other nations, okay, are backwards. Okay, they don't have, okay, okay, they don't have the spirit, man. They don't have the spirit, Yahweh Shem Yoshai. But right now, you got 2/3 of our people, okay, they're walking in that same pathway. Let me get a quick precept. This is 1 John chapter 2 and verse 15. Listen, it says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. It says, if any man love the world, see, the love of the Father is not in him. It says, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life, see, is not of the Father, but is of this world, but is of the world. You see, and that's the problem with so many of our people. They're just worldly. Okay, their lust is for what? The things that this life is giving them. Okay, or the lust that they want in this life. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and read verse 17. It says, and the world passeth away, and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of the Most High abideth forever. So ultimately, that's going to be in the kingdom. See, all the things of this world, okay, whatever they may be, cars, money, houses, it doesn't matter. Those things are not going to be here anymore. You see, they're all going to pass away, because in the kingdom, okay, it's going to be different, man. Really, we're going to have everything. Okay, people lust after what? Money, power. Okay, men lust for women. Okay, women, okay, they lust for, okay, the finer things of life. Okay, they want money, they want cars. Okay, they want to travel. Okay, okay, their mindset is not to please the Lord. Now, is there anything wrong with those things? No, but the scripture says what? Use this world, okay, without abusing it. But so many of our people, okay, they're abusing that. Okay, their mindset is not a Yahweh Shem Yoshai. Their mindset is of the things of the world. Let me get another precept. This is let me see here. What is that? James chapter 4 and verse 4. It says, you adulterers and adulteresses, says, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? So you're against the Lord, man. See, and just like we were, okay, spiritual adulterers, okay, not just in the physical sense, but yeah, that too. Okay, that's pushed right here in so-called America and throughout the earth. Okay, but we've all been spiritual adulterers. Okay, going after idols. Okay, whatever mess we're following, whether it was Jesus the Christ, okay, Allah, Buddha, whatever. Okay, that was us. Okay, not being right with the Lord, man. Pretty much cheating on the Lord. It says, whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world, see, is an enemy of the Most High. That's why 2/3 of our people, now they become, okay, those spirits of disobedience. Okay, right along, okay, with the nations and especially Esau. Let me get another one. Let me go to Romans 8. And I believe, I'm going to start at 5, I believe. Yeah, Romans 8 and 5, it says, for they that are after the flesh, see, do mind the things of the flesh. But they that are after the Spirit, see the things of the Spirit. It says, for to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against the Most High, for it is not subject to the law of the Most High, neither indeed can be. So they can't get right. They can't do the things that are correct. Again, because their mindset is what? Of the world. It says, so they that are in the flesh cannot please the Most High. You see, so long as the Lord, okay, doesn't give certain individuals the faith to believe, okay, the faith to come out of the ways of the world, they're not going to please the Lord, man. Okay, they're going to remain, see, in that dead state, man. They're not going to be delivered. They're not going to make it. Let me go back to Ephesians. Two, and let me see where I leave off at. I'll read verse 2 again. Where in time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. It says, among whom also we all had our conversation in times past in the lust of our flesh. See, we were all doing those things, man. We were all worldly at one time, okay, doing the things that the world does. It's fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and we're by nature the children of wrath, even as others. See, if it wasn't for the Lord giving us the faith and quickening us, okay, we're going to go down that same path, man. That same path, see, of destruction. That same path of wrath the Lord is going to bring upon these nations, okay, beginning with Esau and also 2/3 of our own people. It says, but the Most High, who was rich in mercy, for his great love wherewith he loved us, even when we were dead in sins, hath quickened us together, see, by Yahushua HaMashiach, the anointed. It says, by grace you are saved. See, grace is what? Unmerited favor. Okay, meaning, okay, we didn't deserve it. You see, and even though we didn't deserve it, the Lord chose certain individuals, okay, and ordained certain individuals, okay, to come out of the ways of the world. You see, he chose certain individuals, which right now is are the hopeful elect, okay, to have a different mindset, to walk different, okay, to do things that are correct to the best of their ability. It says, and had raised us up together and made us sit together, see, in heavenly places in the anointed Yahushua HaMashiach. Okay, because, scripture says we have the mind of Yahushua, man. You see, doing things, again, the best we can according to what the Lord said to do. Okay, not according to what the world says, no, but according to what the scriptures say. The scripture says what to love thy neighbor as I love thyself. Okay, if we truly love our neighbor, hey, we're not going to commit murder against him. Okay, we're not going to go and try to commit adultery, with this woman. We're not going to steal from him. Matter of fact, let me get that. That's Romans chapter 13, and let me see what I want to start off at. Verse 8, it says, owe no man anything but to love one another, for he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law. See, and that's the Christians. Oh, yeah, you gotta do love your neighbor as thyself. Well, yeah, but there comes yeah, but there's certain ways, okay, that you got to do that. You can't just tell somebody, well, I love you, and you're good. No, there's a certain way you got to act, okay, towards somebody to show true love, man. The scripture says, if you love me, you keep my commandments. But what do most people try to say, especially Christians? Oh, the law's been done away with, brother. Okay, but they don't truly understand by truly loving your neighbor, okay, that is keeping the law, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability. You see, doing right, okay, by your neighbor, okay, again, by not, committing, certain acts towards them, hey, that's true love. Listen, it says, for this, thou shalt not commit adultery. You see, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness, thou shalt not covet, and if there be any other commandment, it is briefly comprehended in this, saying, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. See, when you truly love your neighbor, you're not going to do these things to him. It says, love worketh no ill, see to his neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law. You see, when you're keeping the commandments, okay, and you're doing right, okay, by your neighbor, that's fulfilling the law. See, and that's contrary to what the world teaches or believes. They think you can just do whatever you want. See, and you see, and that's not so, man. But let me go back to Ephesians, then I'm going to go ahead and close out. Ephesians 2 and verse 8. It says, "For by grace you are saved through faith, see, and that not of yourselves. See, it is the gift, see, of the Most High. See, having true faith and truly having belief, hey, that's a gift from the Lord. It says, not of works, lest any man should boast. See, again, it was not of ourselves, man. It had to come from Yahweh B'Shem Yoshai, man. See, that spirit of faith, that spirit to believe. Okay, those are all okay from the Lord. It's not something that we did on ourselves. It says we are. It says for we are His workmanship. See, created in the Yahweh HaMashiach. See, unto good works, which the Most High have before ordained. See, that we should walk in them. Let me go real quick. I'm gonna get that word ordained. Then I'll close it out. Let's see. Let me get out of there. Let's go to Ephesians 2. And let me see. Let me go down to verse 8. I'm gonna get that word. Not 8. It's like a verse 10. Ephesians 2 and 10. I'm gonna get that word ordained. Let me read it in the NLT first. It says, "For we are the Most High's masterpiece. See, He has created us." It says He has created us anew. See, we are a new creation. Okay, we're not that old man anymore. See, in Yahweh Shah Mashiach, see that old man. Okay, he would commit adultery. He would steal. He would lie. Okay, he would do things. Okay, against the Lord. But when you become a new creation, and you put away those things, you're not acting in the same manner, man. Okay, your manners of life, okay, is different. Okay, your anastrophe, okay, your conversation, your conduct, man. You're gonna do things different. It says He has created us anew in Yahweh Shah Mashiach, so we can do the good things He planned for us long ago. You see, so we were ordained, okay, to receive this knowledge, this wisdom, the faith. Let me get that word ordained. Then I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. And that word is a G4282. Let me play it.
Strong's G 4282. Praetoi mazo. Praetoi mazo.
Sounds a little bit like prohorizo, okay, which is the word for what? Predestination, man. Let me get the definition. It says to prepare before, to make ready beforehand. It says prepare for, before, ordain. It says literally or figuratively, ordain before, prepare for. So this was all prepared for us, okay, before, okay, we were even born, man. Before anything was even made, the Lord already had those spirits that He was going to give, okay, this wisdom and knowledge to, okay. He already had prepared those spirits, okay, that we're going to truly have faith, that we're going to be quickened, to be made alive. Let me go to a couple of these root words. Let me see. Pro, this is before. I'll go ahead and play it.
Strong's G 4253. Pra.
It says the outline of biblical usage says before. It says the Strong's definition says for. It says, i.e., in front of, prior, figuratively superior to, above, ago, before, forever. It said before or ever, Slakia. Let me go to that other root word. Let me see. Yeah, this is the word G2 092. Let me play it.
Strong's G 2090. Hetoimadzo. Hetoimadzo.
Oh, Salak, yes, this is the G2090. Okay, it says the outline of biblical usage, it says to make ready, prepare. Listen, to make the necessary preparations, get everything ready. See, and the Lord has done that, man. Okay, he's gotten those special spirits ready, okay, to do the things that are correct. Okay, to have faith and to believe. It says, I'll get B here. It says to prepare the minds, see, of men to give the Messiah or the Hamashiach a fit reception and secure his blessings. You see, those that are able to receive, okay, the truth, man. You see, they're gonna have the proper mindset. Okay, they're gonna have the faith to believe, man. Let me read down here to the Strong's definition. Well, yeah, let me read above here. It says, prepare, make ready, provide. See, and the Lord has given us that provision. It says to prepare, provide, make ready. See, and that's what the Lord has done, man. He's made those spirits, okay, that have the faith, okay, to be ready, man, to prepare, okay, to receive, okay, this 100% truth. And ultimately, you see, and ultimately to prepare, okay, to, to receive salvation. So with that, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I'm going to go ahead and close out and give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak, Badash, and double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of the great millstone from which I learned his truth. Peace and blessings to the house of David, doing his work with all righteousness, truth, and sincerity. And I want to say shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.